So you've got a single due out tomorrow, but we're allowed to play it today. Are we the first people allowed to play it?
You are.
Awesome. So what's the name of the single? Just tell us a little bit about it, although we will go over it just before we play it, and we'll play it right at the end. So,
well, the song is called "No One Can Get Me Here," and it's kind of like a love letter to nature. It's really just about the whimsical fun of connecting to nature and just getting in amongst it and really finding that to be your safe place when the world feels a little bit crazy. Nature's very calming and very soothing. So that's sort of been my sanctuary in the last few years. So I wrote a song about it.
So and the song is soothing?
The song is upbeat and very fun.
Yeah.
Which I know that's not necessarily what people would necessarily associate most of my music with.
We have
but
talked
I do
about
have that side to me.
We have talked about the art as therapy angle of some of your songs in the past, haven't we?
Yeah, and that's a really important thing, and I still definitely do that, and there will be a lot of songs that explore that side on the album that comes out in April. But this particular song was just absolute fun, just joy.
So let's talk about the album then. 29th of April, were you saying off the air to me?
29th of April, yeah.
All right, and this is your first album. I know because I've interviewed you quite a lot over the last few years. I'm saying, when's the album? Are you going to do an album? Now, finally,
yeah,
it's here.
Well, it has been. There have been a few setbacks
right
along the way, but we did it. I mean, the album is finished. It's currently with the mastering engineer.
Okay.
Over at Cog Studios, and so yeah, it's all go. And with the album coming out, there's also a beautiful art book full of fantasy characters that we created over the last couple of years in with the team in Christchurch. So it's really an epic release for me.
It sounds like a big project. Now, when you say an album comes out these days, are we getting an LP, a CD? Are we getting tape cassettes? What are we just online, digital? What's the story?
Well, I had really put a lot of thought into this because I thought, well, what do people do? So the art book, in my view, was going to be like the real physical version, but it's going to be a limited edition. Yeah. So there won't be endless amounts of those, but I will also get a CD printed to go in the book. But then otherwise, my plan is just digital.
Right.
So that that'll be a really special limited run for those who are really into it.
Right. And have you had a lot of, because I know you hear a lot from your fans, have they been like, yes, this is what we want?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Enthusiastic bunch, are they?
Yeah, well, I mean, the feedback that I got was, quality over quantity. Yeah. And, everybody knows that it's, the way that people listen to music is changing. And so I did a lot of surveying and asking, and yeah, pretty much people consume it digitally online, mostly by streaming. Yeah. But they like to have a physical thing as well. So, right. But the book is really just a nod to the realm of fantasy and all the creative, imaginative wonders of the songs. So, yeah. So
clearly you want to talk about the book, but before we do that, I just want to ask, because I get people asking me, if I buy someone's MP3 online, where's the best place? What's the best place to support an artist financially if I'm going to buy their music, pay for their music?
I think that's a really good question.
So just for you, not for the whole every artist, just for you in this case.
I would say at this point, I think, I will have it available from my own shop. So that's probably the best way. But failing that, like a more widespread, it would probably be Bandcamp, because I think the royalties are a bit more favorable for the artist. Right. But I would like to just mention one thing. I'm playing a little game with this single that's coming out tomorrow, and the game is. I have a music video for it, but I want to get to 1,000 streams on Spotify within the first 5 days of it being released, and then as soon as it hits 1,000, I'm going to release the music video, day or night. So if you want to see the music video, come and play the game.
Right. Do you think some people will just leave it on high rotate for?
I hope so. I don't know.
That 1,000 mark's significant on Spotify, isn't it?
It's a significant milestone. That's when the song, I think it's reached enough people that they'll probably show it to other people.
Yeah.
So it's a good sign for their algorithms. And the whole game these days is all about pleasing the robots.
Yes. We bow down to our algorithmic overlords.
It's true. Yeah. So that's the game.
Yeah. So the book. How big is it? What size is the book? Give us we're on video for people who've seen this online. So hold your hands up. Show us how big.
Yeah. Well, it's gonna be a square. So it'll kind of look like a CD, but it's about 21 centimeters. And then it'll open up, and when you open it up, the pages will lay flat.
Okay.
And all the beautiful imagery will just be presented in the most beautiful way. I'm so excited about it, Aaron, honestly.
So the music was just a thing that enabled you to make a book, really? Is that what's going on here?
It all kind of happened together, but it was, I really wanted it to be this like multi-sensory experience. So you listen to the music and then the visuals go with it. And also because I put, I record things in certain frequencies in order to promote calming and healing frequencies. Yeah. So it's like an energetic experience as well. So is it important to you? Do you get really detailed with that and go, well, I prefer you listen to it on a WAV format or a FLAC format rather than MP3 because it brings more of the original with it? Like the music that I create has like quite a wide dynamic range as far as the frequencies go. So it's really designed to be listened to on a great sound system. I understand that most people are listening either on their phones or maybe not, or maybe in the car or something like that. So what I can say is the higher the quality of the listening equipment, the better. But if you want it, it's still going to sound great on MP3, but it'll sound better as a WAV file. Right. So,
and there's some Spotify alternatives, aren't there? There's one I've heard of where they really focus on the sound quality. I can't remember the name of it though.
Yeah, well, one of the things I like about Bandcamp is the fact that they do allow you to upload your music as a WAV file, so that and people can choose a WAV or an MP3 when they download it if they buy it there. So that's really cool because some people want to be able to listen to the higher quality recording.
Yeah. So the book, the artwork in the book, is it going to be similar to what we see on your Facebook page? Because you're quite into this. I'm going to call it Celtic imagery, but you might have a better phrase. Old. No, I don't know. You describe it.
It's so in the book, each song has a character, and we created the character. So they're all unique, and they don't necessarily follow a thematic trend aesthetically. I got transformed into a sorceress for one. I got transformed into like a tree dryad for another. Well, that was really quite an epic photo shoot. A mermaid with an actual mermaid tail. So I mean, there's not just like one theme. They're all different. So
and there's how many songs on the album?
13.
That doesn't mean it's a 13-page book though.
No, it's a 48-page book.
Okay. Oh, of course, it has to be divisible by those numbers of 48, 24.
They have to be divisible by 4 in order for the lay flat.
Yeah. Thing. All right. Well, look, we you'll have to bring into the studio one time when we're allowed people back in the studio because it's the red setting at the moment. Although it's enabled us to do this on video for you, so.
Yeah, which is great.
And I know you do a lot of stuff. For people who don't know Parabola West that well, you do a lot of your fan bases online. You do a lot of online events. Is that right?
Yeah, well, lately I haven't been doing so many online concerts just because I've been focusing so much on completing this project. But I definitely will be gearing that up again. So that's about to get going. Yeah, for sure. I'd like to do online concerts.
Yeah. Okay. So and how do people find out about an online concert?
Well, anybody that's on my emailing list, which I'll see if I can like send a link to that. But yeah, if you're signed up to my email list, then you'll always know. If you follow my Facebook page, or anything like that, or check out my website. But yeah, just I kind of post it everywhere when I'm doing it, and then sometimes I'll sell tickets. So it'll if you're into my kind of music, chances are I'll find you.
Oh, you're good at this now. So people can people give feedback, because that's probably the big difference between a live concert and doing it online, is you haven't got that immediate visceral feedback you get from an audience.
Yeah, it's funny it takes some getting used to, because you're doing an online concert and you're basically singing to a camera and like a little dot saying you're live, and then you've got the screen with people's comments, because you can they do in the chat box and they make requests, or say how much they like it, or sometimes there's a little tip jar, like a digital tip jar or something like that. People can tip you, and it's a lot of fun. They chat with each other. It's like the only kind of concert where chatting during the show is fine.
Yeah, and I guess these days on the internet you can have good sound quality. We've managed to make Zoom sound good these days. So is that a worry at all, or you're good?
I mean, in the beginning it was a little bit of a gamble, but I think these platforms have really risen to the challenge of the digital age, and the fact that so many people were kind of isolated in their bubbles for so long. So we use like OBS software, and they've really lifted their game. So yeah, it's great. We can make it sound pretty much just like the recorded version live.
Right.
And I'm very lucky because my husband is my sound engineer, so he works it out, and I don't really have to think about it too much.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, you focus on the creativity.
Yeah.
Now I see, just looking at the screen, is that a didgeridoo in the background? Is that what I'm seeing there, or is that something else?
It is. Yes, it is a didgeridoo.
Does it appear on the album?
No, it doesn't appear on the album, but we do have some really cool instruments that appear. We've got a nickel harpa, we've got a hurdy-gurdy, which is like a medieval instrument, we've got Celtic flute, we've got some African drums, there's some pretty cool stuff.
What is a nickel harpa? Well, I think we've explained the hurdy-gurdy. What is it in the previous interviews, but what's a nickel harpa?
A nickel harpa it's a traditional Nordic folk instrument, and it is shaped a little bit. You would hold it like you would hold a guitar, but it has you can play it with a bow as well as it has strings and buttons. So it's a little bit it's a difficult instrument to explain, but it has a really unique sound.
And who plays it?
Sorry?
Who plays it?
Who played it on the album was a guy named Adam in Australia, and his studio is called True Vine Recordings, and he has a lot of really, really neat folk instruments. But if you're interested in somebody currently in the music scene that plays the nickel harpa, Mercure does a lot of her music. She's got some folk music and then some really heavy darker metal stuff. So
how do you spell her name?
It's Myrkur.
Okay, that's cool, because that was going to be a bit of a stab in the dark.
Yeah.
So one of the things that happens on Spotify is that the algorithm will suggest similar artists and to what you've been listening to, and I'm just curious, what music an artist does. Have you even checked that out? Do you listen to your own music? And what does Spotify tell you to listen to next?
Well, Spotify, it's really... I'm not sure exactly where they've made a connection, but if you go to my Spotify, it says listeners also like, and there's a suggestion there, but when I listened to it, I didn't really make the connection. So I don't know where Spotify pulls that information from. But Spotify's pretty good at making suggestions to me when I'm listening to a playlist. I've got a playlist called Beautiful Darkness that
that sounds like
created. Sorry?
That sounds like your scene.
Yeah, totally. And so, and my songs sit really well on that, and so they've started suggesting songs to me that would sound like that. So on that playlist are things like Aurora and Ivor and I think there might even be a Halsey song.
Oh, yeah.
And just some eclectic stuff. So if you like my kind of music, then you might enjoy that playlist. It's called Beautiful Darkness. It's on my Spotify.
And what music at the moment are you listening to that's inspiring you or feeding into your music?
I haven't really been listening to a lot of music. I've been really just totally enmeshed in finishing the creation of all the album tracks.
Okay.
So I kind of put myself in a little bit of an isolation capsule sonically in order to really just stay with that process. But that playlist, Beautiful Darkness, would be a really good example of what I would put on to just kind of chill out and listen to.
Yeah. And do you go into the studio with finished songs or with rough ideas or maybe with nothing at all? Like some stuff came totally out of the recording process?
So the process is that I will write. I will start on piano or keyboard. I'll kind of write the bare bones of the song, and then I will create a Pro Tools session and create like a demo of it. So then I'll add and arrange the drum parts and some auxiliary instruments and things like that through MIDI. And then if after that whole process I still like the way it sounds, then I give it to my producers. And that my producer is Scott Newth out of his own studio. It's called Black House Productions. And then we build it from there.
Okay. So I guess that's the process. Really, I don't have any more questions. Now that
is the process, yeah.
That is the process. Okay, so we should play the song, which is officially due out tomorrow, so people will be able to get it and listen to it online tomorrow on the 25th.
Yes.
Oh, now here's a question. So we're the country closest to the date line. Will the people in, for instance, the west coast of the US have to wait until it's the 25th over there before they can listen?
Yeah, the way that it does, and it's kind of exciting on Spotify, they show you where it's releasing country by country.
Oh, really?
So as the time zone changes, it kind of updates it. So I think it's as soon as it hits, midnight, then it goes live wherever it's officially the 25th.
Right.
So yeah, it'll be a little bit of a process. So the release is like a 2-day journey.
Okay. All right. So all right. We'll wind the interview up and we'll play the track here on the radio.
Thanks. I
don't know if we're playing it on the Zoom recording. I haven't worked out how I'm going to get out of the Zoom recording. Maybe we'll end it.
Because I don't want to have you we're just looking at each other listening to my song. That's so awkward.
I'm not one of those people that there's those React videos on YouTube, and I definitely shouldn't be one of those people. It's all happening internally. So.
Right. Okay. No, that's absolutely fine. I mean, it's yeah. I hope you like it.
All right. I'm sure I will. I generally do. Like the music you're putting out. So we've been talking to Amy from Parabola West, and thank you for your time this morning. And we're gonna play the song today, one day ahead of so we're lucky get to play it one day ahead of the official release.
Excellent.
Thank you. All right. See you, Amy.